Welcome to another episode of GSC DigiNet. I'm your host, Jim Cavall, broadcasting director here at the Gulf South Conference. And this show, once again, taking place from our beautiful GSC studios here in Birmingham, Alabama at our headquarters. And I got to tell you, I'm very excited as we are now in full throttle with all of our fall sports, starting with football, with gridiron action going on all across the Southeast with the GSC. And of course, GSC TV will return next week as we'll head out to Delta State, and the Statesmen will take on a familiar foe, now a non-conference foe, and Arkansas Monticello. Will give you all the action live on CSS, Cox Sports, and a plethora of other networks under the GSC TV umbrella. But this week, so much going on, not just in football, but in volleyball, and of course, men's and women's soccer. These sports now getting into conference play. And then GSC cross country, both on the men's and women's side, is getting closer to the 2011 GSC Cross Country Championships, which will, of course, take place right across the road at Spain Park, just across from the GSC headquarters here in Birmingham. So much going on. Let's get you started with a roundup of all going on the gridiron in GSC football. The Gulf South Conference posted its third consecutive undefeated week, thanks to its second straight 5-0 mark this past weekend. The league moved to 17-1 versus NCAA Division II opponents this season on the heels of 5 victories over Great American Conference foes on Saturday. Number 2, North Alabama, now 4-0, celebrated its homecoming in thrilling fashion, rallying from a fourth-quarter deficit thanks to 14 unanswered points en route to a 28-20 win over Harding. UNA travels this week to Saturday's battle with Southern Arkansas, while number 4, Valdosta State, also now at 4-0, returned home for a second straight time in 3 weeks, rolling up 252 yards, rushing on its way to a 38-21 victory over Southern Arkansas. The Blazers hit the road this Saturday, journeying to Arkansas Monticello. Number 6 nationally ranked Delta State, now 4-1, successfully capped off its 4-week stretch of road contests, forcing 6 turnovers in a 34-31 road triumph over Henderson State University. DSU returns to the friendly confines of McCool Stadium, hosting number 25 nationally ranked Ouachita Baptist on Saturday. And West Alabama, now 3-1 overall, captured its first win at Arkansas Tech since 1982, holding ATU to its lowest offensive output of the season in a 17-12 final. UWA returns to Tiger Stadium on Saturday, battling Harding. Finally, West Georgia, now 2-1 overall, held Arkansas Monticello scoreless in the second half and used the school record performance by return specialist Denarius Appling to claim 21-5 home victory. Appling's 2 punt return touchdowns were a single-game record for UWG and also put him on top of the school's books for TD returns in the season with 3 and a career with 4. The Wolves celebrate homecoming this weekend when Henderson State comes to University Stadium. So very interesting stuff when you see all these GSC gridiron matchups with former GSC schools from Arkansas taking on current GSC schools, and the GSC prevailing with many victories this past weekend. Now let's check out what's going on in GSC men's and women's soccer. In women's soccer, it's still the surprise inaugural season of Valdosta State. It's now 2-0 in conference play, 6-2 overall. The Lady Blazers really kicking it up a notch here in conference play. Also, you have West Florida Christian Brothers and West Georgia and Alabama Huntsville all picking up their first conference wins this past week when conference play began. Going to be interesting to see who separates himself from this pack, as West Georgia and company have some big matchups coming up this next week. On the men's side of things, we have not began conference play yet, but right now the hottest team has to be Christian Brothers, 6-2 overall, a 5-game winning streak. West Florida, of course, added again with another great season to start, 4-2-1 for them, and Alabama Huntsville also with a winning record at 4-3. All these teams will get underway in conference play this next week. So that rounds up men's and women's soccer. Another sport getting underway with conference play is women's volleyball. Let's check out what's going on the court with them. Right now in women's volleyball, 4 teams are dominating action in conference play thus far, as West Alabama, West Florida, North Alabama, and Valdosta State all with 2 and 3 wins respectively. The best overall record, however, goes to West Alabama at 12-3 overall, along with a 6-game winning streak, as things will begin to really get going now, as we are less than 2 months away from the conference championships. Where will they be? Who will be the number 1 seed? We'll find out all of that over the next 30 to 45 days as we get closer to the 2011 Women's Volleyball Championships. All right, so there you have it. Great stuff from all the different fall sports. And once again, we're less than a month away from the 2011 Cross Country Championships, which will take place just next to our GSC headquarters here in Birmingham, Alabama, in Hoover, actually, at Spain Park facility. Going to be an awesome event. So stay tuned to GSC DigiNet for updates on all these sports. And of course, next week, stay tuned for GSC TV Live, as we'll be on location at Delta State University. Until then, I'm Jim Cavell, and this is GSC DigiNet.